Hey everyone, Xander here with Project Nerd, and I'm here with Justin Balog of Shared Territory, which debuted here in the Nederland Film Festival.
That's right.
Now, first question I have to ask. It looks like you have a passion for biking.
I do.
You bike in all of these.
Yeah, I do. I'm actor director, right?
Yeah.
No.
That's method acting.
Yeah, it is. No, cycling is a big part of. Always been a big part of my life, and
yeah.
that's what Shared Territory is all about. Our tagline or whatever is stories that connect people and their lands through human-powered exploration. So
okay.
Walking, running, riding, whatever it is.
And whatever it is you can to explore these territories.
Yep.
And now, speaking of shared territories, it's the discovery, or not the discovery, your journey through a hidden Antarctic trail, is it?
That's almost there.
Almost.
A few degrees of latitude off. So Shared Territory Iceland specifically is a story as we traverse from the Arctic Circle, the most northern point of Iceland, to its most southern point, a town called Vik. And the original idea of the story, my wife and I had visited Iceland in 2014 to see the Northern Lights. You know, I mean, that's where you go see them, right?
That's a great journey, exactly.
And we were speaking to some flight attendant on Iceland Air, and I was like, hey, everybody rides around Iceland. Has everybody ridden through the center of it? And she just gave me like you might be able to. I don't know. That's enough to start an adventure, right?
Like, I've never tried.
And so the more I researched it, I became really interested in the Icelandic Sagas. So Icelandic Sagas are these oral traditions passed down through since the 600s or whatever. My dates might be a little bit longer than what you're aware. Right. Yeah. So in the Icelandic Sagas, they reference this passage called Sprengi. Again, this is Sprengisandr, which loosely translates to the sandy trail of exploded horses, right? And so, and the reason they call it is because these horses are, ridden to exhaustion because there's no quarter for your horse in this area. In the center of Iceland.
Now I feel bad for laughing at that name.
Yeah. I feel bad. I mean, the Icelandic horse, we can go into great detail. The film goes into detail about it. But there's no quarter for your horse there. And really to understand what... I mean, now I'm starting to get reflecting on this adventure. The center of Iceland, when they say there's 400 or 500 square kilometers of glacial moraine, you have no idea what that means until you're out there. But imagine, kind of those river stones, little gray ones. They're
like the river
rocks.
River rocks. Yeah.
Imagine that. Where are you from?
I'm from here.
Oh,
I'm from Colorado.
Okay, so imagine an expanse of that with some topography, but nothing significantly high, that stretches all the way from Fort Collins to Pueblo. Like there is nothing.
There's
no
nothing
life.
And just nothing out there.
And so there was really no reason to go over this passage unless you needed to get to the parliament that was held once a year during the times of Vikings, because there you had to plead your case. And so often people would try to run the risk of they want to get to the parliament faster than the next guy that takes the long route to visit all his friends.
So shortcut.
The shortcut basically, and it's really dangerous. I mean, poisonous gas, volcanic, tubes that collapse. And then the one thing we did find out there that was really interesting was the difference between glacial rivers and mountain rivers, right? So mountain rivers constantly flowing, whatever, but a glacial river, you watch the genesis of a river happen before your eyes, right? So as you're traversing this glacier that's maybe 150 kilometers long, you start at 6 in the morning, it was cold that night, the river's just starting to flow, but you can tell there's an expanse. And then you're trying to race time because as you get to the next river crossing, the next river crossing, the next river crossing, you go across 40 rivers. By the time you get to the last one, it could be 200 meters wide, 10 feet deep, and then you're just stuck there for the rest of the night until it drains that night. So this area is no joke.
And how long were you out there for?
Well, we planned the crossing itself, so we were on location for 2 weeks filming the movie, but the crossing itself we planned 6 days, it took 7 because we got pinned down by a storm.
So taking all the elements into consideration, and part of that, you kind of already pre-planned for it, which is smart.
We kind of buffered for it.
For a little bit, yeah. And I know one of your previous projects that I think was also going to show was the Roundup. Roundup, yes. And from that, watching bits and pieces of that with you traveling through that on your bike and then now going through here, I was like, obviously he loves biking, but just the sense of adventure I get from these videos of yours is just amazing. And then this next one too, after hearing everything you just said, I definitely want to watch it now.
Oh, right on.
I definitely want to watch it now. I
hope you do.
I do. I really do. You have me so enthusiastic to see this now. So when this comes out, where can people find this at?
To see so we're going to be premiering it, I think, January, that's again, loose date, January 24th in Salt Lake City. And then it'll be in the Pacific Northwest shortly thereafter. But if you're looking for a Colorado screening or something like that, you're going to be able to find a physical screening of it in March in Colorado. And then if you want to look at it online, this is interesting. Go to Shared Tour. If you find us on Instagram, I don't know, our most Project Nerd folks on the gram, or
Instagram,
or has that just
Facebook?
Okay.
No, everywhere.
Okay,
everywhere.
so just find Shared Territory on Instagram,
okay.
and we'll have a link to there because the project was done as a way to raise money for a global charity and then a local charity.
Okay.
The global charity is World Bicycle Relief, which puts bicycles into the field. Largely in the African continent, so that the women that live there are unable to get educated because they're tied down with having to perform domestic duties and they can't get to school and stuff. But the bicycle, because it just accelerates their ability to accomplish those. So they put bicycles in the field there. It's like $170 per bicycle, so we're raising money for that. And the second one is Iceland Search-and-Rescue, which is the local charity, which this is a crazy story. Do you have time for this?
Do we have time for this?
We have time for this.
Okay. I know we have time for this. I just want to make sure we have time for this.
Okay. So Iceland Search and Rescue, we went out there this goes back to when we went to see the Northern Lights. They also have this fireworks display. That's the largest fireworks display in the world. It's insane, right? You have no idea how crazy this fireworks display is.
Man. Okay.
But you don't know is it's put on by the public. So it's basically a fundraiser. They sell fireworks for all year long for this public display it happens at New Year's. They do a political satire show that we don't speak Icelandic, but they do this political satire show that we even laughed at because we watched it. We had to vibe out.
It's like a potluck for fireworks.
And then a potluck for fireworks. It is crazy.
Oh,
and
man.
so they raise crazy money, but it's there's no regulations, totally deregulated. Okay. So you'll have an 8-year-old or an 80-year-old carrying pop bottle rockets that are as big as these cameras and launching them, and sometimes they fall over and explode in the crowd. Sometimes they just hit the church, and you know who's local and who's not local because the locals have protective eyewear on because ash is just
ready. They're prepared.
Ash is just raining out of the sky. And then us without glasses, the embers are falling at us. It is crazy, right?
I can't see.
I can't see. And so that's a fundraiser for Search and Rescue. So we're we got to raise more money. this seems dangerous. Maybe if just two of us perish on this Sprenky Sonder making this film, it seems safer. We made it. But we're talking to Iceland Search and Rescue about they cover the whole of Iceland during the year. They help locals. They help tourists. And we're talking to them because we figured, how often do you save somebody? Iceland Search and Rescue. What would your guess be? How many times a year?
On average per year, 54 people?
54 seems like a great guess, right? Yeah. So we asked that. We were thinking, maybe a handful of people. And then he sat there, and it seemed like he was just crunching the numbers, processing the numbers. And we're like, what is going on? And he came out, and he's like, on average, maybe 3 to 4 a day. We're like, a volunteer organization funded by the sale of fireworks is saving people out of the Icelandic Highlands 4 times a day. And then he told me this story that last year there was an Arctic French Arctic skiers or Nordic skiers that tried to do a similar passage to us during the winter. They had to be saved 7 times for one expedition, right?
Yeah.
So we figured it's money to a good cause. Maybe the French should have backed off after the 3rd or 4th set. They just
maybe
throw the towel in. We didn't have to be saved once. We were good.
Thank you for that. That was great. Great.
Yeah. So so if you want to find it. I guess the whole point of that story was that you'll be able to buy tickets for the online premiere if you can't make it to one of those screenings, and that money, those proceeds will be going to World Bicycle Relief and Iceland Search and Rescue.
Oh, okay. And can we find you anywhere online to follow you for future adventures?
Oh, future adventures? Yeah. I'm just at Justin Balog, justinbalog.com. Yep.
Okay. We'll have all that info down below. Yeah.
BALOG.com. Yep.
All right.
I forgot there's more content.
Yeah. No, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, everyone. Xander out. This was great. Until next time.